My girlfriend said, I'm going to a wedding in New York for a week. I found out it was her ex's wedding. I said, have a great time. Then I sent the bride a wedding gift, some pictures and chat history between my girlfriend and the groom, and then, so I'm 32M, and I run a small graphic design business from home. For the last 4 years, my life was pretty straightforward. My girlfriend and I lived together in my house. We had a good routine, and things seemed to be heading toward the usual next steps. It was comfortable, you know? Or so I thought. It all started on a random Tuesday night. I was making dinner, and she walks in and casually says, Hey, my old college friend is getting married in New York next week. It's a whole week-long thing, so I need to book my flight like tonight. I stopped stirring the pasta. A full week? That's a long time for a wedding. Who's the friend? I don't think I've heard you mention them. She got really busy with a bottle of wine and wouldn't look at me. Oh, you don't know her. We were really close back then. It'll be a fun girls' trip. The way she said it felt off. My girlfriend is a planner. Every vacation, every dinner party is scheduled down to the minute. This spontaneous, week-long trip for a mystery friend I've never heard was a huge red flag. Okay, I said, trying to sound casual. Sounds like it'll be expensive. I can afford it, she snapped back way too fast. It's important that I'm there. That defensive tone told me everything I needed to know. Something was up. The rest of dinner was super tense. Later, I heard her on the phone in the bedroom, talking in this low, excited voice. I only caught a few words, stuff like, a whole week just for us, and can't believe it's finally happening. It definitely didn't sound like she was talking about a girlfriend's wedding. The next few days were just weird. She was constantly smiling at her phone and would lock it the second I walked into her room. She went out and bought a bunch of new dresses and even some fancy lingerie. When I joked about who she was getting dressed up for, she just laughed and said, "You've got to look your best in New York." The lie was so obvious it was almost funny. My gut feeling went from a small worry to a giant, painful knot. I knew I was being lied to. A couple nights later, she was in the shower and her laptop, which she'd left on the coffee table, lit up with a notification. It was from a wedding website. Her browser was open, and there they were, a happy, smiling couple on a page titled Our Forever. My blood ran cold when I read the groom's name. It was her ex, the serious, 5-year relationship she had before me, the guy she claimed she was totally over, but whose name still popped up every now and then. It wasn't just a wedding. It was his wedding. I'd never seen the bride before. I clicked around the site. It was a huge, week-long event at a fancy resort upstate. She was going alone. Then I read the Our Story section. He'd met his fiancée 2 years ago. We had already been together for 2 years at that point. The timeline felt way too close for comfort. This wasn't a trip to support a friend. This was her going to see the one that got away get married, and it felt like she was either going to try and stop it or get some kind of closure. I shut the laptop, my mind just racing. The sheer disrespect of it all. She was planning to spend a week with her ex, lying straight to my face about it. In the house I own. My first instinct was to just explode, to throw her stuff on the lawn and change the locks. But I knew how that would go. She'd turn on the waterworks, twist the story, and call me a controlling jerk. No, if I was going to do something, I needed actual proof. The next morning, I got up early. Her phone was charging on the nightstand. We had a no secrets policy and knew each other's passcodes, which is pretty ironic now. I opened her text and my heart just dropped. A conversation with her ex going back for months. It started out friendly, but it got messy fast. I miss what we had. She's a great girl, but she's not you. Her, you're the one who proposed to her. You made your bed. I think I made a mistake. I need to see you one more time, before I ruin my life. They had planned the whole thing. He'd booked her a room at the resort, separate from the other guests, so they could have their secret meetups. They were talking about old times, the future he was supposedly giving up. The worst part was her last message to him. I'll give you one last week to remember what you're losing. Maybe you'll come to your senses. My hands were shaking, but not because I was sad. I was furious. The entitlement of these two was off the charts. They would go to ruin this poor woman's wedding week, turning it into their personal drama, while I was back home paying our bills. This wasn't just about me anymore. This bride, whoever she was, deserved to know the kind of man she was about to marry. And that's when I started to form a plan. When my girlfriend came down for coffee, I acted completely normal. I asked about her flight, if she was excited. "I'm so ready for this," she said, beaming at me. "I really need a break." "I'm sure you do," I said, kissing her forehead. Her total lack of guilt was all the confirmation I needed. She left for work, and I got started. I spent the next hour screenshotting everything. Every text message, every plan they made, even some of the racy selfies she'd sent him. I saved it all. Then I went back to the wedding website. Under the registry tab, there was a contact email for the bride. I created a new, anonymous email address. I also found her social media. She seemed genuinely sweet and was clearly over the moon about her wedding. It made my stomach hurt for her. She deserved so much better. Then I had my big idea. I went to their online gift registry. Alongside the usual toasters and towels, there was an option to send a gift with a personal note. Perfect. I went out and bought a really nice digital photo frame. I loaded a USB stick with every single screenshot and photo. Then I wrote a simple note on a nice card. "Congratulations on your wedding. There are some things a bride deserves to see before she walks down the aisle. Please consider this a gift for your future." I wrapped the whole thing up beautifully, with fancy paper and a ribbon. I paid for overnight shipping to the resort, addressed directly to the bride, with instructions to deliver it to her suite on Saturday morning, the morning of the wedding. It was a little time bomb of truth, ready to go off at the most critical moment, the day she left for her trip. I was the perfect boyfriend. I drove her to the airport, helped with her bags. "I'm going to miss you," she said, giving me a quick, distracted kiss. "You have no idea," I said under my breath. Out loud, I said, "Have a great time. You really deserve it." She smiled and walked off toward security, without a second glance. I watched her go and felt absolutely nothing. The trap was set. All I had to do was wait. The next few days, I was on a mission. I packed up every single thing she owned into boxes. All her clothes, her books, her pictures. I stacked them all neatly in the garage. Then I cleaned the entire house until there was no trace of her left. It felt amazing, like I was taking my life back. Saturday morning came, the big day. I woke up feeling strangely peaceful. I knew the package had been delivered. I imagined the bride in her suite, surrounded by bridesmaids, opening my gift. Around noon, my burner email account got a notification. It was from the bride. Her message was short and to the point. "Thank you. You just saved me from the biggest mistake of my life." Attached was a photo of the digital frame on her dresser, cycling through the screenshots. In the background, her beautiful white wedding dress was hanging up, and it was pretty clear it wasn't going to be worn. About an hour later, all heck broke loose online. The bride's sister posted, "The wedding has been canceled. Please respect our family's privacy." Then my phone started blowing up. Friends were asking what was going on. Word was, the resort was in total chaos. Apparently, the groom got slapped by the bride's father in the middle of the hotel lobby and was kicked out. Then my own phone started ringing. It was my ex. I ignored it. It rang again and again. I had over 20 missed calls in an hour. The texts that followed were pure gold. "What did you do?" "The wedding is canceled. She knows everything. They're kicking me out of my room. He's blaming me for this. His entire family is screaming at me. You need to pick up the phone. I have nowhere to go and my flight isn't for 3 more days. I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. Please, we can fix this." I read them all one by one, feeling a deep sense of satisfaction. She wasn't sorry she did it. She was just sorry she got caught. I screenshotted her frantic texts, then blocked her number. For good measure, I blocked her ex, too. The next evening, I heard a furious pounding on my front door. I looked through the peephole, and there she was, She looked like she'd been crying for 24 hours straight. I opened the door just a little. "Can I help you?" "Let me in right now." "We have to talk about this," she demanded. "No, we don't," I said, my voice completely flat. "There's nothing to talk about. All your stuff is in the garage. I'll open it from in here. You have exactly 1 hour to get it all off my property before I call the cops." "You can't do this to me," she yelled. "After 4 years, you're just kicking me out over one stupid mistake." I actually laughed. "A stupid mistake? You planned a secret affair with your ex-boyfriend during his wedding week. You lied to my face for weeks. You were about to let an innocent woman marry a serial cheater. That's not a mistake. That's who you are." "You ruined my life," she screamed, tears just pouring down her face now. "You're a monster." "Nope," I said, looking her right in the eye. I just turned on the lights. "You two are the ones who scatter like roaches. Your hour starts now." I shut the door, locked it, and opened the garage. I could hear her screaming and throwing things around for a while, but I just put on some music and tuned it out. An hour later, her car and all the boxes were gone. I heard the full story later from mutual friends. The ex-bride and her family, who had paid for almost the entire wedding, sued the groom for every last penny. Her dad was a lawyer, so the groom didn't stand a chance. He also got fired from his job because his boss was a family friend of the bride. As for my ex, the story got out. She tried to claim I was a crazy, jealous ex who faked everything, but no one believed her. She lost her job, lost all her friends, and had to move back in with her parents. Total social and financial implosion for both of them. Sometimes I think about it and wonder if I went too far. But then I remember her face when she was lying to me, and the happy, unsuspecting face of that bride on the website. I didn't start the fire. I just sent the alarm company a gift-wrapped notice.